Honored audience, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues and partners. Welcome to the International Scientific Conference, Sustainable Tourism and Blue Growth in the Black Sea Basin. As part of interdisciplinary solutions for smart sustainable tourism and services for blue growth in the Black Sea Basin INTERSMARTS project, co-founded by European Union in the Interreg Next Black Sea Basin Program 2021-2027. It is a great honor for us to host today a series of renewed specialists from Bulgaria, Greece and Turkey who will contribute to enriching our knowledge and exploring topics of crucial importance for the development of sustainable tourism. At the opening of this plenary session, we would like to welcome the presence of the University's top management, Mr. Vladimir Dolgi, Vice Rector for Financial and Economic Activity and International Relations, and Mrs. Maria Hamuraru, Dean of Faculty of Economic Sciences. We are particularly honored to have with us delegation of Varna University of Management, Istanbul Development Agency, and International Hellenic University. We also welcome the distinguished guests, our partners, the most important stakeholders in tourism, as Krikova Winery, National Inbound and Domestic Tourism Association of Moldova, Ecoresort Butuceni Guest House, Casa Rândunicii Guest House, Poarta Neamului Guest House, and other partners. During this session, we will have the opportunity to hear valuable contributions about the impact of smart solutions on sustainable development and the role of wine tourism in stimulating investments. We are confident that this conference will generate exceptionally interesting debates and contribute to the development of new ideas and solutions for the challenges we face at both national and global levels. I invite you to actively participate and contribute to your expertise to this valuable knowledge-sharing platform. Now we are honored to share the floor to Mrs. Maria Hamuraru, Dean of Faculty of Economic Science, for welcoming word.
Dear guests, dear partner, and dear our students. Welcome to the Moldova State University. Welcome to the International Conference, Sustainable Tourism and Blue Growth in the Black Sea Basin. We are happy to be here today, working together and sharing ideas to help solve problems in sustainable tourism and blue growth in the Black Sea region. The conference is an important moment for our project, INTERSMARTS. Today, we celebrate the completion of the second phase of our 5. Our work and support and very important for our common goals. However, the next 2 phases will be more complex and we will need to work even harder, cooperate better, and take more responsibility. The success of the project depends on each of us. Thank you all for being here and for your dedication to this important project. A special thanks to all participants and the stakeholders who took part in the study. Your ideas and the support have been very helpful. Congratulations on what we have achieved so far, and wish you all success in the next steps. Let's have a productive and inspiring conference. Acum trec în română. Pentru studenții noștri vreau să menționez că avem un proiect destul de interesant, în special pentru dumneavoastră.
So for our students, this is a very interesting and special project.
Deci, proiectul se numește Soluții interdisciplinare pentru turismul inteligent și sustenabil și servicii pentru creșterea albastră în bazinul Mării Negre.
So the title is Interdisciplinary Solutions for Smart, Sustainable Tourism and Services for Blue Growth in the Black Sea Basin, INTERSMARTS project.
Iar la această conferință, care este cea de-a doua în cadrul proiectului, sunt prezenți partenerii noștri din cele 4 țări.
So this event is attended by partners from those 4 countries, and I can call them Bulgaria, Turkey, Greece and Moldova.
Dar și stakeholderii care au participat la un studiu destul de complex pentru identificarea nevoilor, în baza cărora ulterior vor fi elaborate o sumedenie de study case pentru ca să fie un suport esențial pentru dumneavoastră.
Also along with representatives of private companies, local and central public authorities who have actively contributed to the assessment of specific needs and helped us to form some study cases that will be used later.
Scopul de bază a proiectului nostru este că își propune să contribuie la dezvoltarea cercetării inovatoare și colaborării între partenerii care sunt prezenți aici în sală, deci din regiunea Mării Negre.
So the discussion is focused on how the project contributes to the development of innovative research and also collaboration between all partners in the Black Sea region.
Printre provocările pe care le-am studiat împreună cu partenerii noștri sunt supradezvoltarea și impactul asupra infrastructurii.
So the main challenges that we analyzed are the overdevelopment and impact on infrastructure,
de care este responsabil Universitatea de Stat din Moldova pentru a prezenta rezultatele raportului astăzi.
and our university is responsible for representing these results today.
A doua provocare este poluarea și gestionarea deșeurilor.
The second challenge is pollution and waste management.
A treia provocare este sezonalitatea turismului și impactul economic.
The third point, seasonality of tourism and economic impact.
Și a patra provocare, absorbția redusă a inovației și implementarea noilor tehnologii.
And the last but not the least, the low absorption of innovation and implementation of new technologies.
O plusvaloare a colaborării în cadrul acestui proiect este schimbul de bune practici în aplicarea principiilor sustenabilității în industria turismului.
So a valuable experience for us was the exchange in applying the principles of sustainability in tourism.
Pe această cale vreau să vă mulțumesc și vreau să vă provoc la discuții cât mai interactive în cadrul acestei zile de conferință.
I want to thank you all and challenge and provoke you to discuss with us and develop new ideas.
Mulțumesc!
Now we are open for our session, practical session. So we invite Mrs. Svetlana Genova, project coordinator, Varna University of Management. Be careful. Where is the presentation? Here in the drive and here. Okay.
Okay. Bon dia, dear friends. Thank you for our wonderful hosts from the Moldova State University and particularly to the professors Humrar and Bulat for organizing this event for us. I hope that you are going to enjoy it and bring home something valuable. My name is Svetlana Genova, and I'm the Project and Applied Research Manager at the Varna University of Management. I will shortly introduce you to the framework of the idea of this project and make the, how to say, the main economic linkages in order for us to understand why we are here and why we are approaching the tourism sector from this perspective. Maybe you have noticed the word blue in all this concept and the blue economy. And I would like just to throw a little bit of light why we are talking about the blue economy, what's the place of tourism in it, so that we can interpret better what we have as approach and what we are doing together as partner universities in this project. Our keywords are interdisciplinarity, innovations, needs assessment, and blue economy. I don't know if you ever had the chance to consider this concept a little bit in detail, but it's actually, in terms of policy making, quite a new approach, because on a global level, we started to talk for the first time about the blue economy in 2012 at the UN summit in Rio de Janeiro, when for the first time the Food and Agricultural Committee actually raised the issue of discussing the effect of the agricultural and aquacultural activities on the water basins around the world. And from there on, many policymakers and also researchers started to think for a separate approach for the sustainable management of the water basins. And here, although with the different documents, depending on their regionality and scope, we talk a lot about oceans and seas. Actually, blue economy actually goes also to the freshwater basins and to all the water basins, and their coordinated and integrated management. So here I have taken out some, concepts which are relevant for the European Union, but there is much more than this. So in the European Union, we have our blue economy strategy again since around 2012. But the EU concept initially considered a combination of 6 or 8 sectors with great development potential that have direct effect on the basins. However, the World Bank, especially when it considers research in the frame of blue economy, took the attention away from the mere coastal and marine related tourism to all tourist activities which are happening around the sea basins. So going to the different special interest activities, alternative forms, a combination of these experiences, food-related activities, gastronomy, and so on, all of them which have some direct or indirect impact on the areas around the seas. And the Organization for Economic Development actually took a more holistic approach to consider all the combinations of, anthropogenic or human-made activities that happen along the coasts as part of the blue economy. And that's how we come basically to enlarge this territory not only on the mere banks of the basins, but actually a little bit more further, incorporating all the aspects there. And this is actually how, when we are talking about blue economy, we have a little more of geographical expansion and a little more of wide and interesting topics to talk on. This is just a small shot to show basically what's the place of tourism and why tourism is important. You can see that we are talking about seas. The main sectors, so to say, are very much marine related, like maritime transport, non-living resources, offshore wind, port activities, shipbuilding and repair, and many of the research actually focuses on this. But what is neglected in the whole picture is the tourism sector. And as you can see from the statistics, tourism is important because it's actually the largest employer in the blue economy. This is the first thing. And the second thing is that it is one of maybe the largest general GVA provider. So even though the attention is to the other sectors, we need to focus our perspective a little bit more on tourism from this regard. And the issues here refer very much to sustainability, resilience, better coordination with environment, and so on. This perspective is also important from another point of view. In the last years, I don't know how much this is touched in your research and in your academic programs. At policy level, we talk a lot about growth, and growth is usually associated with the, how to say, accumulation of economic welfare, of profits. But the truth is that we have more and more voices which actually, especially in the so-called post-capitalist paradigm, that we need to talk about the growth, resilience, and development, which is actually based on the natural resources that we have, and the perspective that need to adapt our businesses to the carrying capacity of the environments in which we thrive. And this has been also a perspective for our project, and also particularly for the policy making in the Black Sea Basin. The Black Sea Basin includes all the countries who actually have a direct border to the Black Sea and their adjacent areas. We have here, if we start, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, Ukraine, Georgia, Armenia, Turkey, and 2 regions of Greece. Our region is very interesting, but also very challenging from many perspectives, as we all know. And with a great potential. And the regional approach for the blue economy, which was adopted in 2018, also pretty new, so only 5 years we have this policy, so you can imagine how much we can think and work in this field from this perspective. In the Black Sea Basin, maybe in certain aspects, the policy making took a very advanced, approach. Because they prioritize the healthiness of the ecosystem, the growth concept which I mentioned earlier. Emphasis is put on competitiveness, on innovations which can actually provide for our sustainability, community involvement, and bottom-up approach. Actually, for our policy making, this bottom-up approach is particularly important because in the other policy documents it's not so pronounced. So we have the chance now to actually show how this perspective has a better representation in our area. Last but not least, the Common Black Sea Agenda has a specific research and innovation agenda and pillar, which basically means that we as research institutions are very much encouraged to cooperate internationally and to work also with local businesses to propose different solutions, also in terms of business models, but also for policies, so that we can somehow transfer our knowledge and experience to the policy making of our regions, municipalities, countries, and so on. I know that it is in a way much easier said than done, but at least, this is the general framework which we are encouraged to follow. And also on our part as a team, when we are thinking for the project, we very much believe that there is a lot of local knowledge in all our communities. So it is for us as researchers, and maybe for you as students, practitioners, and also fellow colleagues, to valorize this knowledge and actually bring it forward and develop it further. Our project, as you can see, is not a very big one. So we started on the 15th of June this last year already, and we shall finish in December this year. The keywords for us, as I mentioned, are innovation, capacity, technologies uptake in tourism, because I don't know, but in many of the countries, technology is usually considered human-made and not so technology-made sector, which maybe it's not exactly correct because we have a lot of good practices there. Blue growth, interdisciplinarity, the quintuple innovation helix basically refers to the concept of integrating all the main stakeholders in the innovation process, the universities, business, environment, policymakers, society, academia, business, government, and civic sector cooperation. And our activities were already mentioned by Professor Hamuraru. We are establishing a network of universities for interdisciplinarity solutions for smart, sustainable tourism and services. We performed country and region-specific needs assessment about the sustainability and blue growth perspective for tourism and services. These are the results which we are going to present to you today. We are developing a database with applied research and innovation solutions, including an innovation management platform based on the crowdsourcing concept and idea. This will come from us during the summer, and in the beginning of the next academic year, we shall make mentoring laboratories, presenting our platform, and some dissemination activities of what we do, so very practical and, how to say, concise project. And yeah, this is our dream team, so to say, small but really high quality and efficient. As mentioned, Varna University of Management from Bulgaria, International Hellenic University, the Department of Organization, Management, Marketing and Tourism at the International Hellenic University, the Moldova State University Faculty of Economic Studies, and the Istanbul Development Agency. And this is our network with task forces in our 4 countries. So I will stop with my presentations here because there is some overlapping with the needs assessment which we follow after the lunch break. And we'll open the floor for the next presenters and for the wonderful local knowledge and good practices which we can see from the region of Moldova. Thank you so much. And yeah, I close my presentation here.
So, hello, my name is Christina, and today I will represent Krikova Winery. It is my honor to represent it, as this is not only the largest winery in the Republic of Moldova for the amount of produced and exported wines. You are going to know also that Krikova is also one of the largest sellers in the world, and for the used underground surface, it is actually the largest wine seller. So everything started with the extraction of the stone, as this limestone is used, basically was used, and it is still used as a building material. By the way, during the Second World War, when Chisinau lost more than 80% of the buildings, we had to rebuild Chisinau, and Krikova was one of the mines from where this limestone was extracted. So after the Second World War, After the extraction of the stone, the galleries were empty, but the temperature was always the same, between 12 and 14 degrees. So it was taken the decision to transform this huge, empty underground space into something which really needs this temperature. So this is how, since 1952, the galleries which already existed after the extraction of the stone were transformed into a wine cellar. And Krikova started to produce, not only to age wines and sparkling wines, but also to produce them. So Krikova Winery became the first producer in the Republic of Moldova, in those times in Soviet Moldavia, but till nowadays, it is the first producer of sparkling wine with a French method. By the way, being a huge producer, it still helps small producer of wines, small wineries producing sparkling wine with a French method. And we are very lucky to become a touristical destination, not only for the size of our underground wine cellars, but also for the underground city. We have, by the way, we use electro cars to travel in our underground wine city, and streets there have names related to wines. Well, today Krikova is famous not only for being a wine producer, but also for hosting at least 40 million liters with wine only in the aging department, and also for having a very important part of the national wine heritage. We host more than 720 bottles, which will be never sold bottles, historical bottles or wines with historical value. And we also use 85 kilometers of our underground galleries, which have a total length of 120 kilometers. That means an underground surface which is larger than 53 hectares. So this is not only under Krikova town where we are, but also under some other places like under Stăuceni, Măgdăcești, and some parts of Chișinău. This is why in Chișinău we don't have a subway, because the underground galleries are used for wine storage and for wine production. The oldest bottle in our underground gallery is actually the bottle with a wine produced in a limited edition in Jerusalem. It is a wine produced from the harvest of 1902, and we are proud to take care about these kind of historical bottles. We receive different interesting offers, but some of these bottles, as I told you, as they are part of the national wine heritage, they will be never sold because they have a historical value. And besides what we produce and what we take care of, we also are the first winery in the Republic of Moldova to start producing organic wines. We started to receive a certificate recognized internationally, a certificate confirming that we produce organic wines since 2022. So by now we have wild range wines. So the name wild says that this is wine, absolutely natural wine, and this is what make us be different in comparison with other wineries, because in the Republic of Moldova, by the way, Republic of Moldova is on the first place in the world for number of wineries per capita. And we have to be in top if we want to continue, so we are proud to be the first to produce organic wines. What does it mean? Organic wines are absolutely natural wines. So to produce these wines, we had to plant from zero vineyards. That means we had an empty field, or doesn't matter what was planted on that field before, but we just let that field empty and wild for at least 3 years before we started to plant the vineyards, which started to be used after 3 more years to produce organic wine. So that means not only the vineyard was never sprayed with anything which is not natural, but also the soil where we planted that vineyard was not treated with anything 3 years before we planted the vineyard. And every year the German company which gives us the certificate every year, they check the quality of the wine plant to see if in the last year we didn't treat it. So we are proud to produce organic wines in the wild range we have now from Moldavian varieties. We have 2 positions of white dry wine and we have 1 position of rosé dry wine from wild range. And we have also a position of sparkling wine produced with the Italian method. And besides producing organic wines, we also started to, let's say, use photovoltaic energy. And today we have 20% of our energy which is totally covered by photovoltaic. So as I was telling you, thank you, we cover 20% of our energy consumptions from photovoltaic plants, especially in the south of the Republic of Moldova. As I was telling you before, being the largest winery in the Republic of Moldova, we own more than 1,300 hectares. They are not only in the center of the Republic of Moldova, a part of these hectares are in the south too. So for the sustainable function of our company, in the south of Moldova, we cover the costs of the energy. So that means that we reduced a lot the consumption of CO2, and we also started not only to use photovoltaic energy, but we started to replace some of the materials used to for the presentation of wines. For example, when we bottle our wines, as you can pay attention in the right corner, in the bottom, you can see a bottle with wild wine. You can see on the neck of the bottle there is something covering the neck of dark green color. So you may think this is plastic. Time ago it used to be plastic, but today this is wax. So we try always to replace with sustainable materials. And every year we plant at least 50 more hectares with new, fresh vineyards, which we plan to use to produce organic wines. And also we plant new vineyards, especially trying to promote local Moldavian varieties or varieties which originally are from the Romanian space, like Feteasca Neagră, Feteasca Albă, Feteasca Regală, and Rară Neagră, which these are the most popular, let's say, originally with the roots from the region of nowadays territory of Republic of Moldova and Romania. Besides this, we also plant more and more vineyards with other varieties, selection varieties like Viorica, Legenda, and so on. So if till nowadays in the Republic of Moldova, from all the surface of vineyards, 85% are with French varieties, every year we try to increase the surface with Moldavian varieties. So, well, thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Cricova is a great example study case. Yeah, one question from our colleagues.
So yes, I just received a question why we started to produce organic wines. This is a good question. Today in the morning with our partners, we were telling that we usually used to cook a special, not cake, but a special sweet bread, especially for or around Easter. And I suppose that we cook it because it makes us feel closer to our parents and grandparents. Organic wines also make people remember the roots, in my opinion. Well, first of all, whenever people try to buy something, we have so many options. We have to convince people to buy our wines. What will make them buy our wines? Emotions. So first of all, emotions. Second, being closer to nature, because this is where do we come from. So nature is, well, we need to be linked to nature, and producing organic wines make us closer to nature, make us closer to people who respect nature. And well, this is not only better for the nature, this is also better for the health of people. So many people today have allergies, and they pay attention to what they actually eat and what they actually drink. And not only organic or bio food, when we go in the countryside and we give a preference to eat something which is produced, let's say, from whenever we go to, or Heilweg, let's say we go to rural houses where we prefer to go because we don't go to eat, to have a lunch in a restaurant, but we want to have a lunch like our grandparents were cooking it, with homemade chicken or with homemade noodles. So this is the same situation with wine. We need organic wine because it makes us be closer to nature and closer to our ancestors. It is healthier, and I think it also makes us emotionally feel better, knowing that when we drink organic wine, we don't leave such a big footprint on the earth, let's say, in the environment. Yes?
You mentioned about that you have a lot of solar energy investments. I wonder the technical part. You mentioned about the emotional part. What was the main challenge during these investments? Was it the initial cost? Was it changing the mindset? Or was it the bureaucracy?
This is a good question, especially because my position in the company is not that one which took this decision. But as this is a state company, it is very difficult to move anything in the way how we work. So from my point of view, as being just a person employed there, I think it is a very big step in what they already did. There is bureaucracy, and not only bureaucracy. As being a state company, I don't know how exactly to explain you how it works, but when you have your own company, you have an interest, a long-term interest to make it move. When you work for a state company, this long-term interest, it almost doesn't exist. If it exists, anyone else will kill it from the very beginning, because you are the only one with energy and with desire. So I think this is a great a step in the development of the company, which makes us be closer to people. From investment point of view, it is also very difficult because we started to move like this, first of all, after pandemic and after the war in Ukraine started. So from the investment point of view, our company actually was losing from economical point of view. For number of tourists we received before pandemic in 2019, we had almost 100 people visiting the wine cellars, and in 2021 we have almost 40,000 people visiting our cellars. And only this year, in 2020, last year, I'm sorry, in 2024, we almost achieved the same number of tourists we had. So we received last year 82,000 people in our wine cellars as tourists. So this is the income we, let's say, based on our tourism activity. So the fact that we started to use photovoltaic plants and to use this energy, it was made in a difficult time for us, but what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. So I believe that slowly every year we will increase our photovoltaic plant, and also we will increase the number of tourists, even if my opinion is if we will not reach more than 100,000 people every year, this is also good, because this means high quality tourism. We don't need to transform our cellar in a very crowded place.
In Turkey, we have a program, meaning that challenge, change the rules of the game. So when you face some challenges, so you accept that the rules have changed, and then you started to accept those new standards or new ways of doing business.
Yes, you're right. Challenges are changing our way to have our activities. And by the way, mentioning about challenges now, then in the Republic of Moldova, somehow we have this energetical crisis, having 20% of our energy from photovoltaic plants. This saves us a lot. So we are also lucky to have such a huge space underground, so we can actually have less cost to preserve temperature or to store wine. So you are right, everything which is closer to nature and all challenges will make us resist better to next challenges. Other questions? Well, we try now to use technologies which are more contemporary, and that means with less pollution, like the degree of pollution is less, depending on the machineries. So yes, today we actually use less because of these technologies. We use less water too, not only less electricity. That means which we improve our footprint in the environment.
Other questions, please?
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your valuable inputs and for sharing experience. Thank you to Krikova for this support constantly that offered to our university. Now we will continue our discussion, and we would like to invite our guest, Mr. Într-o, Director of Eco Resort Butuceni Guest House. It's one of the most amazing places in our country and in the world, according to our opinion, because it's our country and we loved it. Please.
Bună ziua! Engleza mea nu este așa de perfect ca să vorbesc engleză și am să vorbesc în limba română. Da.
So hello everyone, my English is not that good, but still I'm trying my best to be here and to represent.
20 de ani în urmă am venit la Butuceni, la Orheiul Vechi, unde am început să procur case țărănești pentru a construi, nu știam inițial bine ce fac.
So 20 years ago I came to Orheiul Vechi, Butuceni. I started to look and buy some old houses. I didn't know what I was doing, but still I continued to do it.
Yes, da. Și Pe parcurs, desigur că eu am venit cu ideea, ca și toți din fosta Uniune Sovietică, cu ideea de a construi ceva mai modern pentru a, cumva, turismul la imaginația mea era că să faci ceva ca să vii lumea la hotel, să mănânce, să doarmă și așa mai departe, dar nu-mi dădeau un bine seama că nu asta este calea.
So, according to my imagination and my idea, was to invent something new, a hotel where people would come, would drink, would stay, would eat. But in my mind, it was a little bit challenging, and it wasn't so that easy to invent this.
Pe 20 de ani în urmă, în Butuceni vineau doar turiști vizitatori, care doar se plimblau prin sat, nu existau restaurante, nu existau pensiuni, pe atunci era doar la Tribujeni o pensiune.
So, as I mentioned before, 20 years ago, the only people who came to Butuceni were only some persons that were passing by. There wasn't any restaurant, any cafe, or anything infrastructure in Butuceni.
Dar reconstruiem intuitiv, reconstruiem casele țărănești din cauza că vineau mulți turiști de peste hotarele țării și eu observam atenția lor la casele astea țărănești și autentice cum erau ele.
We noticed that all the foreigners who came to Butuceni at that moment were looking and were very surprised by our old houses. That's why we started to follow our gut and just to reconstruct those old houses.
Astăzi eu consider că chiar începutul a fost sustenabil, din cauza că am avut ochi și urechi să fac nu ce îmi plăcea mie, că noi de ăștia fostă de Uniunea Sovietică ne plăcea ceva modern, european, nou, însă datorită turiștilor străini am înțeles că calea este de a păstra autenticul.
So today I can say that actually we had a sustainable beginning. We thought at that moment that everyone wants something new, modern, different, but still we concluded that actually the authentic and the traditions are the one who keep us alive and the one who are the most important part of our culture.
Deci trecea timpul, cu atât mai mult înțelegeam, iar din nou, de la turiștii străini, înțelegeam că nu numai prin construcții, dar și bucătăria autentică și cultura autentică, tradițională, a noastră, națională, ei vin în special după asta. Nu vin să găsească culturile care sunt la ei, dar ce este la noi autentic.
So the time was passing by and I noticed that one more time from the foreigners, from tourists, that actually our food, our national traditions, our drinks and everything that is authentic, that is such different and special for them is the key to success and the one who convinced them to come back and to try one more time.
Am avut norocul ca să ne viziteze cu un program de lucru pe vreo 2 săptămâni un expert din Olanda, care după plecare a spus: voi sunteți eco-resort.
So we had the privilege to be visited by a specialist from Netherlands. Yes, and he told us that I can truly say that you are an eco-resort.
Și din momentul acela ne-am redenumit din pensiunea Butuceni în eco-resort Butuceni.
Starting with that moment, we made a rebrand. We changed our name from Pensiunea Butuceni to Eco-Resort Butuceni.
Ne s-a lămurit de către acest expert și condițiile care sunt pentru a fi un eco-resort.
There were some conditions that had to be followed, and he explained us everything step by step.
Condiția principală era nu cu ce hrănești lumea, adică ce consumi tu ești eco, dar ce lași din urma ta. Asta este important.
The main point was actually not with what are you feeding the people, like eco products and so on, but what are you, what remains, what are the consequences after you make something.
Desigur, asta noi și până în ziua de azi încercăm din toate răsputerile să respectăm condițiile astea.
We are trying till today and in the future to follow these conditions.
Ne-am procurat baterii solare care fac apa caldă, direct, nu lumină, dar apa caldă,
So
aproape
we,
peste tot.
we purchased the solar panels that are transforming the water from cold in hot water.
Problema sustenabilității turismului în sate și în Moldova este că turiștii vin mai mult, nu vin tot timpul, dar vin numai pe vreme bună.
So the problem in the whole Moldova for ecotourism is the fact that tourists are coming not always, but only when the weather is good. And
Și atunci a coincis bateriile noastre solare cu momentele când vin turiști.
as a consequence, the moment when tourists came was the same moment when we used to install our solar panels.
Pe parcursul timpului am început să fac, am intrat într-o azart așa de ecologie și de sustenabilitate
So I started to be more fond of ecology and sustainability,
și am început să fac experimente și în alte direcții.
and I tried to experiment different things in different domains.
De exemplu, am auzit despre încălzirea din compost, compostarea deșeurilor agricole, din care nu numai faci compost, dar chiar scoți și căldura.
So, for example, I heard about transforming waste. It's called compost. Yes, so transforming waste and subtracting energy, not energy, but warmth from them.
Acest compost poate fi și din frunză, din cioclej, din toate resturile astea vegetale care țăranii de obicei le dădeau foc pe atunci.
So this waste can be made from leaves, dry leaves, from corn, like the rest of corn, and different stuff that in the past people who lived in the countryside used to
Tufaie.
yes, să le aprindă.
Să le ardă. Tufaie.
To burn them,
Burn
yes,
them.
to burn them.
Acum, dacă veniți la Butuceni toamna, foarte rar poate să mai încalci cineva. A luat lumea exemplu și toți pun și compostează, nu pentru căldură, dar compostează toate resturile astea care erau de obicei ciocleje, astea resturile de păpușoi, dar le pun și le compostează în fundul grădinii ca să fac compost, să nu le mai ardă. Și a apărut și legi între timp.
So because new laws appeared, the society started to take more this aspect into consideration, and now in Butuceni you cannot see any people who is burning this rests and wastes, but is preparing and keeping them for compost.
Între timp am studiat mai adânc, mai profund obținerea căldurii din compost și am înțeles că tocătura de lemn, din arbuști, din copaci, din tot ce este mai durabilă, poți obține 24 de luni, poți obține căldură dintr-o grămadă de tocătură de lemn.
So I studied more and I concluded that this part of Uchoks is the one who offers
24 de luni.
who can offer 24 months warmth.
Și la urmă obții și niște compost, adică niște îngrășăminte organice și te-ai încălzit.
And at the same time you obtain this compost, but at the same time you receive warmth.
Am unit o casă a noastră din Butuceni la așa un sistem și o iarnă întreagă ne-am încălzit doar cu căldura asta din compost.
We connected one of our houses from Butuceni to this system, and one winter we had warm. The full winter was warm.
Da. După asta a venit pandemia și a venit blestematul de război și noi am încetat să ne mai ocupăm cu asta, că eram tot timpul așa, nu știam unde să ajungem și ce facem.
Yes,
Dar rămâne la noi, da.
Because of the uncertainty of pandemic and after that war and so on, this project remains an important one for us, but it's uncertainty.
Asta ce ține de energie.
This is about energy.
Dar momente foarte interesante de sustenabilitate, de asemenea, este păstrarea caselor țărănești.
So another important aspect of sustainability in our vision is the keeping and reserve old houses.
Am început să colectăm, lumea distrugea casele și făceau moderne prin satele din împrejurimi,
So people
dar
from
noi le colectam, toate, și ferestrele, ușile, tot colectam și le aducem în Butuceni. Avem multe deja acasă, așa, refăcute.
So people from our village used to destroy all the houses, but we started to keep them, to keep the windows, doors, everything that could be saved, and to reconstruct it. And right now we are having a lot of these types of old houses in Butuceni.
Da. Și încă un moment de sustenabilitate, după părerea mea, desigur, este păstrarea culturii la pensiunile rurale și inclusiv noi, la Ecoresort Butuceni.
So, according to my point of view, another important aspect of sustainability is keeping and maintaining the cultural part, the cultural.
Am implicat foarte mult artiștii care cântă muzică folclorică, dansuri populare.
In our projects, we implied different local artists, dancers, singers.
Și am mers și mai departe, datorită unui dirijor de la Viena care a venit și a văzut ce se face la Butuceni, am organizat împreună cu o echipă frumoasă de prieteni și cu Ministerul Culturii Festivalul de Muzică Clasică Descoperă.
So, this is about Festivalul Descoperă. So, according to Mr. Anatol, they succeeded to make a partnership with a guest from Vienna, and he was the one who tried to invent this concept of Descopera.
Poftim?
Să ne spuneți mai puțin despre Descopera ca să explic un pic
Okay.
conceptul festivalului.
Descoperă, deci inițial a fost un concert de muzică clasică.
So initially it was just a concert of classic music.
La inițiativa lui Friedrich Pfeiffer de la Viena.
So started by the Mr. Anatol mentioned.
Dar împreună cu partenerii externi.
But with the help of our external partners.
Și cu Ministerul Culturii am dezvoltat într-un festival de mai multe zile deja.
And with the help of our Ministry of Culture, we succeeded to implement this festival for many days.
La moment avem deja vreo 10 opere care s-au produs acolo la Butuceni.
So till this moment we have 10 operas that were produced, sung at Butuceni.
Și a devenit internațional.
And became international, like a trend.
A evoluat la noi Ucraina, România, Italia și Moldova.
Ukraine, Romania, Italy, singers from this country had concerts at us in Moldova.
Eu consider că turismul, împreună cu cultura, unii pe alții se protejează și devine sustenabilă și cultura și turismul.
So I strongly believe that culture and tourism have to be followed one by another, and then they can complete each other, and only this is the key to success.
Nici la asta nu ne-am oprit.
We didn't stop here.
Considerând că să faci doar un eveniment pe vară, asta este puțin.
So we thought that making and preparing only one event per summer, it's less.
Și iată-ne într-o echipă largă cu ajutorul USAID-ului.
So we created a big team with the help of USAID, and
am hotărât ca să creăm nu doar un eveniment, dar să creăm o locație în care să se întâmple într-una niște evenimente culturale.
So we thought about preparing not only
nu eveniment, dar să fie o locație în care acum un teatru.
So not only an event, but to create a location, a physical location where these concerts could be performed.
L-am numit Opera Butuceni.
And we called it Opera Butuceni.
Încercăm să facem concurență la Opera București, Opera Cluj, Opera Roma.
So we are trying to conquer opera from Bucharest.
După cum spun artiștii și vizitatorii care vizitează aceste evenimente, nouă ne reușește.
According to our guests, we are very close and we have success to conquer with foreign opera.
Dacă aveți întrebări, eu, de natura mea, sunt așa inventiv și încerc toate cele, dar ca să nu consum prea mult timp.
If you have any question, you can
dați niște
ask me.
întrebări și
I am very creative and inventive, but I don't want to take more time from you. So if you have a question,
ca să mai poată și restul participanților să vorbească.
Because it's very impressive. Sorry. It's very impressive what you are doing with reviving the old homes. I was just wondering whether you research the old traditions of building and reviving the houses, or you are trying to combine the modern technologies with the old one.
în special cu casele vechi, și a întrebat dacă ați studiat anumite instrucțiuni sau anumite reguli care trebuie studiate atunci când se reconstruiește o casă veche, poate modele din trecut, sau ați încercat să îmbinați creativitatea dumneavoastră cu ceea ce e la modă acum.
Nu sunt la moment, poate sunt la Ministerul Culturii, dar eu sunt născut într-un sat și cunosc culoarea părului meu, spune o leacă de ani au trecut de când sunt pământ. Și cunosc, eu am trăit viața asta la sat și cunosc absolut tot. Cum se făceau casele din lut, din piatră. Și m-am apucat de unul singur și a fost apreciat foarte mult sigur, într-o echipă de lucrători,
So you can see by my hair, I am a person who used to live in the village. I was born in village, so I know everything by heart, what's happening in village, how old houses were made, of what materials and so on. So I just followed my gut and I started to invent and with the help of my team that helped me a lot and supported me, people were amazed of what we were doing and supported us.
Ministerul Culturii, văzând Butuceni se află în rezervația cultural-naturală Orheiul Vechi, care este a Ministerului Culturii, în gestiunea Ministerului Culturii.
So Butuceni is a part of
a rezervației cultural-naturale.
Natural Reservation of Orhei, and that's why the Ministry of Culture has a very big impact. So we are like subordinating somehow.
Vizitându-ne reprezentanții Ministerului Culturii, văzând ce facem noi acolo la Butuceni, cu casele astea vechi, noi am devenit un fel de, noi suntem experți, am devenit un fel de model. De model cum trebuie de păstrat tradiții.
They saw what we were doing and we became the model and expert in this domain, and you can see at the screen images from our old houses that we prepared, and they consider that we are now preparing the rules and we are the one who are the leaders on this domain.
Să nu credeți că lucrurile sunt foarte complicate, este simplu de tot, mai simplu decât să faci chestii moderne, dar trebuie să ai oameni care știu face asta.
So this type of activity is not very difficult, but still you have to find the right people who can do this properly.
Dacă mai sunt întrebări?
Any other questions?
Hello. You do many projects in sustainability and cultural. You are own funding these projects, or you have other sources like from governor or Minister of Culture or anything else?
Pot finanța până și în momentul actual, în continuu, cu surse, ca să realizați proiectele.
Ce ține de evenimentele culturale, într-una am fost în parteneriat cu Ministerul Culturii și cu partenerii externi.
Regarding cultural events that we are making here, they are fully supported by our partners and money from abroad.
Ce ține de construcțiile pensiunii și reconstrucțiile, am fost ajutați foarte mult de USAID.
So the reconstruction and construction of houses, a big amount of money was paid was received from USAID.
No.
No.
Grants. Yes. Desigur că participarea noastră este cea mai mare, dar a fost de folos și ajutorul ăsta. La moment și momente grele. Cu părere de rău, acum...
So yes, right now the full situation that
Sperăm că se va
the
rezolva.
grants from USA are somehow restricted for our country. It's a little bit difficult and the uncertainty for us how we
Sperăm
will
ca să se
manage things.
rezolve și...
But we hope we will find a solution and we'll be able to create a new project.
Și cu, de asemenea cu Uniunea Europeană. Doar am început cu ceva micuț grant cu Uniunea Europeană. Sperăm că acum e timpul Uniunea Europeană deja.
So we started some small grants with European Union and we still have some more steps to follow, but we think that they will support us, European Union.
Alo? Eu aș vrea să vă întreb cam cât timp v-a luat ca să-i dați viața acestei idei și ca să aibă succes și cum ați promovat-o?
20 de ani în urmă am început activitatea. Inițial nu ofeream servicii turistice vreo 3 ani. 3 ani n-am oferit, doar reconstruiam ceva și da. Și ne dădeam seama ce putem oferi. După cum v-am spus, am venit cu un plan, dar turiștii străini mi-au schimbat mințele. Și am început să fac cei ce dorea lumea să vadă, dar nu cei ce îmi plăcea mie. Despre cum ne făceam publicitatea, da? Da. Promova, da. Inițial era din om în om, pentru că nu erau, când am început, nu erau rețele de socializare. Poate erau, dar eu nu le cunoșteam, dar cred că nu erau atunci. Asta funcționa și pentru europeni. Veneau din Europa și spuneau că la noi au fost niște prieteni și noi am venit să vă vizităm, să trăim la Butuceni, la Eco Resort. Acum tot așa funcționează, dar s-a mai adăugat și rețelele de socializare, care, desigur, au ușurat lucrul, promovarea. O cale foarte importantă de promovare au fost agențiile de turism și turoperatorii cu care noi am fost unii dintre primii care am acceptat că lumea nu vrea să dea comisioane și așa mai departe, dar noi am înțeles că asta este calea și lucram cu ei. Pandemia a blocat toată activitatea asta cu agențiile de turism. Și acum cu războiul din țara vecină, tot turoperatorii și turagențiile încă nu îndrăznesc să organizeze grup, să vii în Moldova, pentru că europenii mai cred că în Moldova se întâmplă ceva și sperăm să nu se întâmple. Sperăm. Da. Sperăm să revenim la situația normală ca până la pandemie. Măcar ca până la pandemie. Nu v-am obosit? Dacă nu mai sunt întrebări, vă mulțumesc pentru atenție.
Eu am o întrebare.
Da.
Da. Care este lucru care vă diferențiază de restul rezervațiilor? Adică ce vă face special și de ce lumea alege să vină la rezervația dumneavoastră?
Rezervația nu e a mea. Noi suntem un punct în rezervația Orheiului Vechi.
La Butuceni.
La Ecoresort Butuceni, da. Suntem deosebiți din cauza că anume ne-am axat pe tradiții și bucătăria și stafful nostru, deci angajații, nu am luat angajați care cu școli pe alte țări, dar lucrez cu femeile din sat și din alte sate, care mai bine că dânsele nu știe nimeni nu știe ce e asta bucătărie tradițională. Și lumea ne-a apreciat foarte mult turiștii și acum noi nu ne imaginăm că putem trăi altfel.
So the question was, why is the Eco Resort Butuceni so special? And he told us that first of all, our local kitchen is very tasty, and the staff that is employed at the Eco Resort Botuceni are all from village, so women and men who know the traditions and know how to follow them, how to prepare this tasty food, and better than them, anyone doesn't.
Și de asemenea și traiul, adică camerele, avem o 20 și ceva de camere hoteliere, deci camere țărănești în care am păstrat așa autentic, după cum vedeți pe
deci
post.
20 de camere.
O 20 de camere, da.
Pentru că cineva întreba care este numărul de oaspeți maximal pe care puteți să-i primiți.
50.
So there are 20 rooms, old rooms that can be offered, and the maximum number of guests is 50. Care este numărul mediu de zile în care stau de obicei în...
Până la pandemie stătea 3 zile cam grupul stătea. Acum o zi, două și foarte puțin stau mai mult.
So before the pandemic they used to stay like for 3-4 days, but after pandemic they stay only 1-2 days maximum.
Mai multă lumea vine iubitoare de tradiții și mulți vin din curiozitate să vadă ce-i cu asta.
So people are coming because they are curious about what is happening here, and they want to see with their eyes.
Și iubitoare de tradiții.
And those who love traditions and customs. Aha.
Yes.
Da.
A lot.
Oaspeți fideli.
Da.
Yes, a lot of them.
Yes.
Da. Deci faptul că oamenii se reîntorc la dumneavoastră înseamnă că business-ul e de succes.
E un succes, da.
Now we would like to share with you another great experience, also from this location. It's village Trebujeni. It's near Butuceni. Mrs. Liliana Buzila with the Casa Rândunici guest house. I don't like to translate this name because it sounds so sweet in Romanian. Casa Rândunici. Please, Mrs. Liliana.
Bună ziua! Eu mă numesc Liliana Buzilă și vreau să vă zic că eu cred în destin și în faptul că ceva ție este predestinat. Altfel nu pot explica faptul că eu m-am născut la Orheiul Vechi, mămica mea este de Baștină de la Butuceni, iar eu sunt de la Trebujeni.
Ați spus atât de frumos că tocmai am... I believe in destiny because otherwise I cannot explain why I was born in Orheiul Vechi. My mom is from Butuceni and
iar eu sunt de la Trebujeni.
And I was born in Trebujeni.
Ambele sate fac parte din rezervația Orheiului Vechi.
So both villages are from the same reservation, Orheiul Vechi.
Domnul Botnaru a menționat faptul că a venit mulți ani în urmă în Butuceni și a fost impresionat de căsuțele care erau și a vrut să cumpere. Eu vă explic de ce dumnealui s-a gândit totuși să facă aceste achiziții.
So, as Mr. Anatol told us before that he was fond of old houses that he found in Butuceni, I will try to explain you why he decided to do this investment.
Părinții mei, profesori de specialitate, tăticul meu profesor de muzică, mămica mea profesoară de istorie, sunt de fapt primii care au început turismul rural în Republica Moldova.
My parents, who are both teachers, my mom is a historical teacher, my father is a music teacher. They were the first one who started to do ecotourism in Moldova.
Nu știam, atunci când am început, nu știam ce e asta, turism rural, nu știam cum asta se face, deci am început pas cu pas la sugestiile unor oaspeți care au venit să viziteze localitatea, care pentru atunci era o destinație foarte, foarte nouă, impresionantă și foarte interesantă.
When we started to do this, we didn't know that this is called ecotourism. We didn't know how to do things, what rules have to be followed. But step by step, with the visits of different guests who were surprised to see our places, they told us different aspects, and we tried to take this into consideration and implement them.
Așa a luat naștere pensiunea Casa Verde, pensiunea turistică a părinților mei.
So this is how Casa Verde, the
guest house
Casa Verde of my parents appeared.
Asta a fost anul 2002-2003.
So it was in 2002.
Yes. 20 de ani mai târziu, în anul 2022, își deschide ușile pensiunea Casa Rândunicii, care este de fapt deja pensiunea mea, inspirată fiind de activitatea turistică și de încurajarea oaspeților care au venit pe parcursul acestor 20 de ani la pensiunea Casa Verde și deja nu numai la pensiunea Casa Verde, pentru că o mulțime de pensiuni între timp s-au deschis în zonă.
20 years later, in 2022, I opened my own guest house named Casa Rândunici. It was inspired of all the beautiful things that I saw in other guest houses that were opened through this time.
De fapt, Casa Rândunicii este un vis al meu, și anume să fie construită din piatră și din materiale naturale în exclusivitate.
So actually Casa Rândunici is one of my biggest dream because I wanted to be constructed by stone and natural raw materials.
Ce vreau să spun și să menționez, ceea ce a menționat de fapt și domnul Botnaru, că de fapt oaspeții străini sau turiștii sunt cei care ne-au arătat nouă și ne-au învățat să ne prețuim mai mult obiectele artizanale, covoarele care sunt manuale făcute. Spre exemplu, în pensiune la noi sunt covoarele țesute de bunica mea care și-au și inițialele.
As it was mentioned before, tourists from abroad actually showed us how much, how many and beautiful things we have and how lucky we are, and we have to respect and to conserve all these cultural and customs elements. And in our Casa Rândunici you can find different handcrafted, manufactured objects, also some old carpets made even by my grandmother, and a very specific sign for old carpets is that people used to put their initials. So every carpet was somehow registered by the initial of that person who prepared the carpet.
Nu o să fie lipsit de modestie dacă eu o să menționez că, grație tatălui meu, care este profesor de muzică și care s-a ambiționat să creeze pe parcursul activității sale grupuri folclorice, s-au păstrat tradițiile în localitate.
So I will not be modest and I'll say that my father, as I mentioned before, is a teacher of music. He was the one who decided to organize different groups of kids, and not only who are promoting traditional songs, are maintaining some customs, and till now they are actually very fond of it.
În poza de mai jos, mămica mea, în afară de faptul că este o profesoară extraordinară, gătește și foarte, foarte bine. Și aici în poză o vedeți cum organizează un masterclass culinar cu oaspeții.
In this photo you can see that my mom, who is not only an excellent teacher, is also a great woman who knows how to cook very, very tasty food. And here she is organizing a master class with preparing traditional food.
Tot într-o poză anterior ați văzut un domn foarte simpatic cu acordeonul, este tatăl meu. Despre el vă ziceam că a tot învățat pe parcursul și învață și în continuare generații și generații care transmit folclorul mai departe.
Maybe you could notice in another photo there was a man. He is my father. He is the one who continues to promote traditions and to train different groups of different generations and to promote our traditions.
Deci în activitatea noastră suntem foarte, foarte determinați să avem o activitate foarte respectuoasă față de mediu, chiar dacă localitatea nu are un serviciu de canalizare și apă centralizat. Noi ne-am instalat propriile fose septice.
Taking into consideration that our region is not very well infrastructured for different yes, infrastructure for services, it was a little bit difficult to take this fact into account, but we introduced and implemented some
our individual
system, our individual system, let's say so, in order to facilitate these things and to create all the conditions that have to be in a guest house.
Prepararea sau prepararea bucatelor o facem exclusiv din produsele pe care le creștem noi personal, pentru că avem și grădini destul de mari, unde creștem absolut toate produsele care sunt necesare pentru prepararea bucatelor. Avem o colaborare frumoasă și cu oamenii din localitate care pregătesc cresc animale, pregătesc brânză, lapte și avem o colaborare în acest sens.
So we are preparing our food exclusively from products made or grown by us. We have a big garden where we plant our vegetables, fruits. Also, we have a collaboration with different persons from the countryside who offer us milk, meat, natural high quality products.
Cam atât am avut a vă spune. Ceea ce vreau să menționez este faptul că turismul rural este ceva foarte, foarte frumos, foarte, foarte cald și foarte sufletesc.
So ecotourism, in my point of view, ecotourism is something very beautiful, special, warm, kind, and we have to concentrate all our power to continue to pursue this.
Mulțumesc.
Thank you. If you have any questions.
Casa Rândunicii are 5 camere duble și Casa Verde are 4 camere. În total noi putem găzdui 19 persoane.
So Casa Rândunicii has 5 double rooms and Casa Verde has 4 rooms. So we can have about 19-20 guests. Când vine?
Deci, domnul Anatol a menționat faptul că totuși turismul în regiunea noastră este un turism sezonier și majoritatea turiștilor vin în perioada aprilie-octombrie, septembrie, așa mai mult.
So as it was mentioned before, our region is more of for seasonal guests, and that's why most of our guests are coming from April to October in this period, most of the time.
Yes. Deci noi colaborăm și cu agențiile, dar grație faptului că deja suntem de mult timp, noi avem iarăși acea publicitate din om în om și încă nu a venit nimeni care să plece nemulțumit de la pensiune și asta este un fapt care foarte mult ne motivează și ne...
So they are coming by themselves, also due to the advertising from one person to another person, and each. Also, yes, we are also working with some touristic agencies from our country, and they can organize some groups. And a very important aspect was mentioned that each and every came to us, left with a lot of positivity and was very grateful, and this is very important for us.
Toți, absolut toți oaspeții au menționat foarte, foarte gustoase bucatele.
All of them, but all of them mentioned about our very, very tasty food.
Mulțumesc! Vă invităm la Casa Verde și la Casa Rândunicii.
We invite you to Casa Verde and Casa Rândunicii. We are waiting for you.
All of us will come, yes? Okay, thank you. and we invite Mrs. Elena Stepanov, Director of National Inbound Tourism Association. Please, Mrs. Elena, our good partner and good teacher and program of Hotel Services Tourism Manager.
Hello. Yes, I represent the National Inbound Tourism Association with 120 members, and I'm proud that here today we have these wonderful people that created their businesses in the tourism area. What I would like to add to their speeches that one of the most important principles of the sustainability in Moldova in the rural area is the concept from farm to table, what mentioned before Liliana, that they have their own gardens, so they grow their own products, they work with the local community, and they involve the local community to be part of the tourism services. This is one of the important pillars of sustainability, and we are proud that our tourism services from the rural area created this concept, and they are following this in order to develop Moldova as a travel destination abroad, as a sustainable travel destination abroad. So our association mostly have three important objectives. One of these objectives is to promote Moldova as a sustainable travel destination abroad, and we are doing this for 11 years. Another objective is to be a part that connects the state and the state representatives with the businesses, so we are the voice of the sector, and we are helping them to be part of the national community, and we are helping them to don't lose any opportunity of support from the state and any opportunity to bring their offers to the international level. Also, we are creating new products and new partnerships, also helping the community to be involved in the process of the tourism development. And what I would like to mention that starting from 2022, Moldova signed the commitment of sustainability. This commitment was signed by the Ministry of Culture, the entity responsible for the politics in the tourism sector. Moldova signed the commitment, and we are going on the right direction to develop Moldova as a sustainable travel destination. Starting with that day, we improved our skills for the sustainable expertise and for the sustainable businesses in Moldova. So we started with certification of the experts in the tourism industry, and starting with 2023, we also hosted an GSTC experts in Moldova that helped 17 businesses from the tourism sector to be certificated and to get the certification for their activity. They help them to understand actually that what they are doing right, and they are following the right direction for the sustainable tourism. In that time, a lot of businesses from the tourism area understood that actually what they are doing right, and what they are doing, they are developing sustainable tourism offers in Moldova. As was mentioned before pandemic, yes, Moldova was a destination that hosted travelers from abroad, group travelers, but now things changed, and we are every time updating the information about the tourist profile that is coming to Moldova. And we understand that now tourists are looking for something eco, they are looking to be part of the community, they don't want to be part so much of the luxury offer, they want to be they want to cook together with the host, they want to be part of the community, and they want to build together these opportunities that our guest houses are offering to their guests. The right direction that we took in that time helped us to understand that people that are coming to Moldova, the tourists that are coming to Moldova, they are looking for experience, for cultural experience, they are looking for activities to be done together with the hosts. So they are coming to Moldova to cook, to be part of the community, to be part of the traditions that are keeping these guest houses. And also one of the big achievements that we have, that we combined cultural type of tourism together with the tourist packages. So a big example in this way is a festival that is organized in the rural area in the National Reserve that was mentioned before. So we speak about the festival Disc Opera. Is an opera in the rural area in the open air region that provides a possibility where a community can bring their offers and provide these farm-to-table activities to the guests that are coming there. Every year in the third weekend of June we are hosting this festival, and each year we are hosting tourists from different countries that are coming for the Disc Opera festival. They are coming for being part of this wonderful offer. If we speak about the sustainability in Moldova and what we are developing in this way, we are acting on three fundamental pillars of sustainability. The first one is environment, and the part of the criteria from farm to table is one of this part, and also conservation of the traditions that are also part of the rural offer is important part of this pillar. Social responsibility, as mentioned Mr. Anatol before, the people that are involved in the activity in the rural areas are the people, are the part of the community from that area. That is very important. So they keep not only the traditions, they keep not only the exclusivity of their region, but they also create new jobs, new job positions for the community to keep them to be at home and to work at their home. And also this is the economical part that provides aspects of job creations involving the students and young community and activities that are provided by these businesses in the rural area. I want to say that according to the Travel and Tourism Development Index 2024, Moldova is on the 88th place from 119. That means that we are doing a good job, but there is much more to do. But however, I want to mention that we already have some successful stories that can inspire international communities, and one of these stories is the wine route. So Moldova is a part of Intervitis Federation, is an European federation of the cultural routes accredited by Council of Europe. So a wine route of Moldova is representing 68 wineries and guest houses that are connected in a path that provides not only winemaking, additional services. For example, our wineries are not only making wine, but they also provide additional services as accommodation, hiking trails, cycling trails. They provide possibility to organize a master class, to create your own label, to draw with the wine. So these different activities that are unique in Moldova attract tourists to come back to this entity, to that winery, and to be part of a wonderful process that will remain as a good activity that we can do in Moldova. Also, we have the first eco hotel in Moldova, launched at Castel Mimi Winery. They have winery and winery accommodation and some additional services that can offer a different experience for the guests that are coming there. And of course, as I mentioned, Eco Resort Butuceni, that created a community for the opera lovers, for the cultural lovers, and that help everyone that is coming there to be part of an exceptional event. I have here a map of this wine route that is a great example of that activities that can be done in the wineries, and the idea that you are coming to the winery not only to taste a wine, not only to do a tour, as I don't know if it was mentioned before, but we have wineries that are included in the Guinness Book, and the deepest winery in the world, and hugest collection of wine. And this winery provides the opportunity to travel into the cave with the bicycle, with the electric train. That again is a part of sustainable process, but also provide a different opportunities for those who are coming to travel to Moldova. What else? I want to mention that one of our strong part is promotion, and we are promoting Moldova as a sustainable destination, not only for the countries that are close to Moldova, but also the countries that are new target countries for tourists to Moldova. I want to mention that, for example, last year we started to work with Greece, and we are working not only for the outgoing tourism, but we are also working for the incoming tourism. We analyze the profile of the Greek traveler, and we understand that Moldova is a great location for those who want to travel to visit monasteries, for those who want to travel to visit churches, for those who want to taste a good wine also, and for those who want to be part of traditions and to see a different type of communities. Because Moldova is a wonderful place where you can come to be back, to be a part and to be back in history. You can be dressed in traditional clothes in the guest house. You can go to the museum again to dress in traditional old clothes, and also to be part of some traditions that are unique in Moldova. Also, we are promoting Moldova as a destination for the medical tourism. Medical tourism is one of the new trend, let's say, that opened Moldova from a different perspective. So 30% of the tourists that are coming to Moldova are medical tourists. So we provide here a different type of medical services on the high level with low prices if you compare with another European countries. And also our doctors, they studied in Moldova and abroad, so we don't have language barrier. They speak English, German, Italy, and many other languages that attract tourists to come to Moldova for good services with low prices, even if they are including in the packages the travel costs to come to Moldova also. Culture is one of our strongest points, as I mentioned before, and we are keeping this as a main attraction together with the gastronomy part and together with the wine, because in Moldova, wine is not an alcoholic drink. So in Moldova, wine is a part of tradition and of culture, and it took time, of course, to bring this culture of drinking wine on the highest level, but at this time we know that Moldova is named the country of grapes, so also Moldova is in the shape of grape if you see on the map, and that's why we include everywhere the wine traditions, culture, gastronomy in all our packages. And doesn't matter that tourists are coming for the culture, of course they'll have in their packages included a winery to be visited, a museum, a guest house, and something else from the rural area. It doesn't matter they're coming for the medical services. Our tour operators also will include some additional activities that will do their stay more comfortable, longer, and more interesting. If you have some questions, you do. The wine route of Moldova, yes. At this moment here are included the 40 wineries that provide small wine producers and big winery that provide additional services except the winemaking. But at this moment we extended the route to 68. So some guest houses also are included in this route. The Ecoresort Butuceni, they also are selling at their restaurant homemade wine. Casa Rândunici also. So all the businesses from the rural area, they also produce wine, and they include this in their offer when you go to their accommodation or when you go at their restaurant. Castelnuomi, as I mentioned, yes, is a model of the sustainable tourism, is the first eco hotel in Moldova. These are the principles that I mentioned before for promoting Moldova as a sustainable destination abroad. Are you first time in Moldova? Yes, okay. And what you heard about Moldova before you're coming? Yes. Wine country? And monasteries, yes. You're from Greece? Yes. Now we're working with Greece as a new target market for tourists, and we are developing now pilgrim tours for them. At this moment, we are working with Transnistrian region that is very interesting for Greek travelers. It's back in USSR offer. And also we include some wineries that are close to Chisinau and Chisinau as a city break destination. And now with the new direct flights that we have from Athens, and they will be more often starting with May, we are trying to extend the offer and to give new opportunities for the travelers that are coming here. And as we understood and we analyzed, the pilgrim routes are one of the main thing that can attract tourists to Moldova. But also, as for example, we have monasteries and churches even in the national reserves, even near the guest houses that were mentioned before. So we make a combination of different activities together with the pilgrim tours, together with the wine cellars, and with the guest houses that are in the same regions and areas. From the South region.
Any other questions? Yeah, please.
Are you working on destination certification or specific certification?
It's a good question because it was very difficult for us to understand how we will start, because we are certified as businesses and tourism experts, so we passed the training of GSTC, we have certification, we passed the TOT trainings, five of us, but the idea is that now we are working with the auditor company to create and to choose that criteria that will be that will suit good with the destination activities that we have in Moldova. So we'll go on the destination criteria to make it as umbrella view, and after this we'll understand what we have to do as the next steps for our businesses. But this helped us a lot to understand that actually in the rural area we're doing all the sustainable steps, the main sustainable steps that are needed, but it was good to see this from other eyes. We'll have no results, so visible results, yes. It's a long way for us, very long way, we understand this, but we are going on the right direction, I think. I know that Turkey this year involved a lot the activities related to the GSTC criteria, because we attended the GSTC event in Antalya 2 years ago. Mm-hmm.
For all tourism facilities. So now, by the end of last year, nearly 30,000 tourism facilities, ranging from 5,000 to hotels, 10,000, they completed the stage 1 certification.
Great.
They comply with the certified that they're complying with 15. As you know, there are 42 criteria for the certification, and all tourism facilities in Turkey now comply with the stage 1 certification. That means that at least 50 of them.
Great. And they're getting a special label?
Yeah.
A personalized one, I think, yes?
Yeah. Each of our guest house is awarded the certification. At
And this increased the number of tourists that choose these facilities? Because now is the trend that tourists that are traveling, they are trying to travel and to be accommodated in that places where they have a label, certification, to be
not only the HTTP, but Turkey also applied another computer certification during COVID. In March 2020, the first COVID phase was declared in Turkey, and just a month later, Minister of Culture and Tourism announced another computer certification program, Safe Travel. It was also, again, only compulsory governmental level certification program, and especially that certification helped a lot in the survival of the tourism SMEs, especially SMEs, during COVID.
I think Turkey was the first country who established this safe travel, because after this, European countries took it.
Just 1 month in June, in March, and in April.
Great. For us, for our businesses, it's not so important to have this label, like you are sustainable or you are eco, but for us is first of all important to understand what direction should we take and what steps should we do. This will help even to access the funds, because now Moldova is EU candidate, and the funds that will come for tourism for sure will come for the sustainable direction. So for us, for businesses, it's important to have this support and to understand which way we have to choose.
Yeah, especially without supporting, without financially supporting, the legal framework is difficult to implement for SMEs.
Yes.
Provide some incentives. And that was the challenge for Turkey in Turkey.
Yes, but okay, we have here Ministry of Culture that implement politics and advocacy. We are doing together with them advocacy for the SMEs. So we are working together to create these possibilities for the businesses. But Turkey is a good example.
Thank you very much. Now we would like to continue with the need assessment on the back. Okay, question. Sorry.
Main challenge to create the strategy. First of all, it's difficult because you cannot choose from 100 and some criteria. You have to choose what criteria are suitable with your country. So you can choose, I don't know, 25, 30, 35 criteria, but you have to follow the way to implement them. So the first step and the hardest step, I think, is to understand which criteria are suitable with the destination. And after this, to implement politics, to make advocacy with the businesses for this. It's not impossible, it's hard, it's a long way, but I'm sure that we will do it on the right direction. It's easy for us because they're really open, and first of all, for them, it's important to understand that what they are doing day by day is actually part of the sustainability on the global level. So this helped them to open the eyes and to see that actually they are doing the right things, and to understand them that these things they have to do under the framework, the national framework. So they're open. They are helping us a lot to do these steps. Now is the time for the state to create this, to choose these criteria and to help us to create the framework on which we will follow.
Thank you very much. Now we will continue with some results of our project. Now we are at the stage of need assessment results, and in this context we invite Mrs. Genova or somebody from team of Varna University of Management to
be more comfortable. Okay. It's okay? It's okay.
Okay, so yeah. No, it's okay. No, this is for myself. So. Yes, dear friends and colleagues, we go back again to after the these so many, how to say, I think inspiring examples which actually show us how much is done in business and actually how much we can learn and valorize. We shall go back a little bit to our, how to say, academic part. And also because this is a joint research effort from the partners, I really welcome and encourage other colleagues here to complement, because these are not yet the final results. So we have still a little bit more work to be done and to enrich what we have studied. As I mentioned in the beginning, a main part of, and also starting part of our project is to study the needs about the challenges posed by the sustainability perspective or blue growth, blue economy perspective. They are more or less interchangeably used in our project. And what are the perspectives for our region, especially regarding concept of innovations, which come, however, not only from the technologies, but also from the different organizational structures. So things cannot be, can be actually combined and holistic. I will a little bit skip part of this information because I mentioned in the previous presentation. When we were developing the INTERSMARTS project, we did some feasibility study and decided to take out 4 main challenges to sustainability in our area. They were coming actually a little bit of our academic research, but also through consultations with experts on the issue. And we took actually 4 main things, 4 main problems: overdevelopment, seasonality, waste or resource use, and the insufficient uptake of innovations in the tourism sector, as these are our main 4 directions of work. And also in the course of, how to say, our specialization and the research interests of the team, we decided that each of our universities researches a particular strand with the support and intake from the other partners, so that we can present a kind of a picture for the for our countries and with some implications for the Black Sea Basin. I will not mention again this, how to say, relations between, how to say, the blue economy and blue growth prospects, but the theme which our team at the Varna University of Management discussed was seasonality as a challenge for tourism. So our objective is to review the challenges which seasonality poses and for the sustainability and the possible solutions which come from the practice and from the business. This slide is just important to mention and to share basically what does tourism represent for our economies. You can see actually quite substantial discrepancies between our countries. So the highest share we see, of course, naturally in Greece for up to 20%. This is based, I think, on the data of the 2023, because the 2024 is formalized yet. In Turkey, the sector gives about 12% of the economy. In Bulgaria, it ranges between 6.5 and 7. And in Moldova, based on difference between 3.3 and 3.7. So we have different structures and also different challenges, but also some common things come out of this. This has been the research methodology which we together devised with all the partners. On these four challenges which I mentioned earlier are surveyed from 6 perspectives or 6 dimensions. We review the main challenges before the sustainability from the perspective of our problem. We reviewed the current state, the solutions which are adopted in business and in the communities, the effectiveness or efficiencies of the policies which are many providing the framework for our businesses, the local community's perspective, and the future needs. Again, 2 main directions. We start with, of course, literature review and what is stated in the general strategic documents, and then we performed a general survey in parallel in all the 4 countries. We have around 100 responses with representatives from 6 BC countries. So besides our 4 countries, we have also some replies from Ukrainian respondents and from Romanian respondents. So we have some references for these countries as well. Focus groups and in-depth interviews with experts, which actually helped us to interpret this data. The period for research was for the theoretical part in October last year, and the field research from the beginning of November till the end of January this year. So about seasonality, of course, yes, I think it was also coming from the discussions that we came here that actually seasonality is one of the most serious challenges before sustainability, because it concentrates people and resources within certain time limits. And especially for the destinations which focus on a single type of tourism, this situation, because these destinations are particularly susceptible to seasonality. What can be said in general for the Black Sea tourism, that in the overall it is highly seasonal, because the majority of our activities are actually occurring, so to say, in the warm months between month and September, and it creates different problems in terms of the burden on the environment, organizing the businesses, and so on. And in some of our countries, it is much more pronounced than in the others. I will not go into the theoretical part, because I guess that at this point this is not so interesting. Maybe the more interesting part is what we received as feedback from our primary research, and how the situation looks when we compare the results in all our countries. For the general public, we asked 4 main questions. First, what was the biggest sustainability challenge? In our case, due to seasonality. Here, I want to mention something in advance, that especially for the seasonality-related challenges and solutions, we gave to the respondents to select all the responses. And I don't know how good it was, because in other cases, people actually could not take out one challenge. So everyone basically said that all the problems and all the solutions are integrated and interrelated. But still, there are some issues which can be taken out. So in Bulgaria, of course, we took out actually 4 main challenges. Increased resource consumption, degradation of the natural and man-made environment, increased concentration of people, and strain on the infrastructure and inefficient use thereof. You can see that for the needs assessment in Bulgaria, aside for the integrated response, the most serious challenge is seen by the people as the increased resource consumption, followed by the degradation of the natural and man-made environment. So in our country, people are actually getting particularly sensitive to the overall preservation of our coastal area. Maybe this is also due to the fact that maybe almost half of it is a natural protected area, I mean naturally sensitive area and so on, and we have a lot of issues regarding concentration of people, particularly regarding in these, say, natural territories. When we asked which methods are most important to manage the impact of seasonality and sustainability of tourism and services, again, we had 4 distinct answers here: ethical consumption and supply of food, diversification of the offerings and focus on the special interest tourism, ethical employment and flexible workforce management. For our country, actually, the labor shortage is also a main challenge for the tourism sector. I didn't have the chance to ask the colleagues here how's the situation in Moldova, for example. Organizing restoration and conservation projects, and safe and waste reduction policies. So aside from all of the above, the main measures which are considered important to measure seasonalities, especially in Bulgaria, are the diversification of offerings, so and the resource saving and waste reduction practices. So our respondents think that we should have, that it is better to actually offer different types of tourism. For Bulgaria and for the Bulgarian seaside coast, this is a logical reply because we mainly rely on the sea, sand, and sun-based tourism. So we need more than this. What innovations can best support the sustainable tourism in light of seasonality? Aside from all the above answers, we have renewable energy power tourism services, smart technologies to manage tourism flows, eco-friendly tourism infrastructure, circular use of resources, promotion of off-season experiences through virtual tourism, pop-up or modular tourism services. In Bulgaria, the most popular answers are the smart technologies and the eco-friendly and green infrastructure, but the distribution is more or less equal. And when we consider the efficiency of the policies to support tourism, the general attitude is, I would say, neutral to, how to say, slightly positive. So the majority of the people consider our policies neither effective nor effective, or some more effective to promote sustainability. Maybe this is also part of the explanation lies in the fact that what came also from our experts is that we have quite fragmented policies, and different aspects of the sustainability for tourism sector are directed by different laws and regulations, which sometimes makes the compliance with all the requirements altogether a challenge for the businesses as well. I don't know how it is here, but with us this was pronounced as one of the most serious challenges. So if we have to sum up the main things for Bulgaria about these 5 dimensions, in addition to what the public survey said, the focus groups and our interviewees actually mentioned that, of course, the combined effect of increased resource consumption, social tensions, environment degradation, and infrastructure are a serious problem towards sustainability caused by seasonality. But other problems that came out were this insufficient communication and coordination, especially among the policies, overbuilding, especially along the seaside, which creates problem for the infrastructure capacity. We need better regulation and infrastructure improvements, and labor shortages are a very serious problem for seasonality in our country. We actually, on a national level, are trying to solve these issues by actually importing people from other countries who come to work to us only for the tourism season. But the strange thing is that when solutions were suggested, actually very, very few of the focus group participants, and also I think only one of our interviews mentioned the ethical employment and ethical consumption as a solution. In terms of the current state and practices, we have efforts and a lot of marketing efforts to diversify our tourism products. Also, we have actually a lot of practices in this case, but the problem is that they are fragmented. So, the businesses, also the municipalities, manage all the issues by themselves, because we have 21 municipalities along the Bulgarian Black Sea coast. And they do not, coordinate their efforts very well. On the other side, we have a lot of, maybe like here, a lot of sustainability innovations and solutions and micro and community level. Especially in the small businesses, we have a lot of technologies and solutions adopted, but maybe this is part of the reason, because this helps the companies to perform economically better. With the with the larger resort complexes, they are in a way more inert, and they take solutions which are proven. About the solutions and innovations, of course, both the experts and also our general survey shows that priority is given to the smart technologies, maybe because they show the results in a comparatively short time frame. So they are very much used and considered useful to optimize the use of the resources and the management of the resources within the companies. But our respondents recognize that these technological and organizational innovations should go together. And that also what was important for us, that many things which we consider innovations actually are not considered as innovative by the businesses anymore, because especially like the cogeneration, the solar panels, they're actually quite popular, especially, and the more, the companies see the purely economic benefit from these technologies, actually the wider the adoption. Regarding the effectiveness of the policies, we need better coordination, of course. And regarding the local communities' perspectives and the future needs, in our case, we both research and general public agreed that the most important level is the local authorities. And we need them to be more active to create conditions for better environmental protection and sustainability management. Now for Greece, we have here mainly the results from the general survey. In Greece, I think for our questions, the results are more equally distributed. So when we're asking for the biggest sustainability challenge to seasonality in Greece, again, aside from all the above answer, the most pronounced challenge is the increased resource consumption, water, energy, and food. But also we have the degradation of the natural and man-made environment, and the increased concentration of people is equally important. So for Greece, we have this issue taken out as important. Which measures are most important to manage the impact of seasonality on the sustainability of tourism? Again, the resource and waste reduction practices, energy or water are seen as the most important, followed by the integrated solution, and then quite a lot of people actually voted for organizing of conservation projects aside from the off-season period. And the ethical employment is also an important issue for Greece as well, quite unlike in Bulgaria, for example. On the questions, what innovations can best support the sustainable tourism? For seasonality, here aside from the combined reply, smart technologies are leading. Almost 1/3 of the people gave the smart technologies as a best solution. Then, of course, we have a high vote for the circular use of resources, like recycling, for example. And about the comments on the current policies, almost half of the people actually voted that the policies are somewhat effective or neither effective nor effective. So again, we are somewhere in the middle. So maybe again people see that there are some policies, but don't don't consider what is there as sufficient to provide better options for helping the companies to be sustainable in the field of seasonality. Now, we come to Moldova. In Moldova, the biggest sustainability challenge caused by seasonality is the degradation of the environment. So people here are also concerned with the nature, and also second comes the increased consumption of resources. Regarding the most important measures to manage the impact of seasonality, resource conservation and waste reduction is actually the most popular option. And after it, we have the diversification of the offerings for tourism. What innovations can support the sustainable tourism during the peak season? Smart technologies are also taken out here for managing the tourism flows, and the tourism and transport services fueled by renewable energy, together with the promotion of the off-season experience. Regarding the effectiveness of the policies in supporting sustainable tourism, actually here we have the highest positive evaluation for the policies. So 1/3 of the people actually named the policies as effective, and 19% as very effective. However, maybe my colleagues will help me here. The comments which we received from the interviewees were exactly the opposite. So there were actually quite a lot of criticism on behalf of the experts towards the policy making. So maybe, okay, here maybe an explanation could be that actually the experts delve more into the details and how they help the way they organize these businesses. People like that there are policies in this regard, but the experts perceive them in a different way. I don't know, maybe there will be more detailed comments on this. But what came out as the main points for Moldova, and despite the combined effect of all the challenges towards sustainability, is in a way, how to say, the contradictory perspective of the private and public interest, different perspective of the issue, and the lack of reliable data for policy making. This was mentioned by the expert as a problem in the planning process. Regarding the current state and practices, in the experts and focus group members mentioned the need for better organized reservation system and the need for ad hoc accommodation solutions that would help to manage the concentration of people in the peak season. Regarding the solutions and innovations that are needed or could help, the lack of solid information infrastructure was mentioned here as a challenge that need to be tackled, but also the lack of financial support that stops the adoption of technological solutions. The need for marketing strategy to promote the off-season tourism was mentioned as a possible solution for the case of Moldova. The effectiveness of the policies and regulations, this I mentioned already, that there is a difference between the general survey and what the experts commented, and the fragmented implementation and management of the resources, especially in the rural areas, was mentioned by the experts as a problem. Regarding the perspective of the local communities and the future needs, it was mentioned that the local authorities, again, are important and need to balance between the economic benefits and the sustainability for the areas which they mentioned. Again, the need for greater financial support for the of the sustainable tourism was taken out. And the need for green technologies and for for tourism diversification. Maybe this is also a good point to consider, because I must say that, for example, for our case, for Bulgaria, actually the businesses were very much aware which technologies, how much savings bring to them. So basically they were quite open to adopt these technologies because they saw very, very well that these technologies actually lower their expenses. So the economic motivation was pretty high. But I mean, the companies, Moldova, especially from the interviews and the focus groups, this need for financial support was actually quite explicit. For Turkey, the results again are more or less equally distributed, as a main problem is mentioned the increased concentration of people during the peak seasons. This is, I guess, quite logical because our colleagues are from the Istanbul area, so there a different dimension is tackled in general. Also on the quite important challenge is again the degradation of the natural and man-made environment and the increased resource consumption. Which measures are most important to manage the impact of seasonality in Turkey? We have here the resource saving and waste reduction practices. Here almost all responses you can see take equal attention. So maybe the perspectives of the businesses just make the difference. And the diversification of the touring offerings and focus on the special interest tourism actually gets a little higher result, together with organizing restoration and conservation projects in the off-season periods. Which innovations are considered most important here? I think that basically the respondents again measure all the options as equally, more or less equally efficient, so to say, because all of the above, so the combined share is only about 20%. And here In fact, maybe a little higher goes the circular use of resources, the eco-friendly and green infrastructure comes after, and how effective the current policies are for supporting sustainable tourism. Again, here we have, so to say, more or less neutral to little positive evaluation, but also the share of the people who actually stated that the current policies are not effective is, I think, the largest among the countries who are evaluated. So I guess that because the Istanbul area has much more, how to say, expressed problems in this regard, also most probably there are people and businesses who are more critical in this respect. Of course, maybe the main challenge which differs Turkey in this respect from the other researched area, the highest concentration of people, which was mentioned also by the researchers and the focus groups. The extremities in the weather, decreased tourism appeal, and the strain on resources were mentioned as particularly serious. About the current state and practices, along with the combined and integrated solutions, the ethical consumption was taken out in Turkey as an important issue, which can solve these seasonality-related problems. Again, I mentioned, unlike in Bulgaria, where we have how to say, labor shortages, for us ethical consumption and ethical employment actually were given as solutions by very few of the respondents. Eco-friendly practices with efforts to promote alternative tourism, and local authorities are actually planning for sustainability in Turkey, which was mentioned by the experts and by the focus groups. Regarding the adopted solutions and innovations, smart technologies again were mentioned as a good approach to manage the flows and the resource use, but also sustainable transport solutions and pedestrianizations were taken out, especially for Turkey, and the importance of local governments to develop policies for resource efficiency and sectoral standards applicable to the sector. Energy efficient design, waste management, and green certifications are used already in the accommodation and restaurant facilities, but more efforts are needed. Regarding the effectiveness of the policies, what differs the Turkish case was that especially the experts mentioned the need to create a guide for the companies and for the business providers to use more solar power and green initiatives. And regarding the local communities' perspectives and the future needs, what differs, especially this case from the others, is the focus on the eco-friendly initiatives, off-season promotions, and alternative tourism to combat the mass tourism impact. Of course, the experts mentioned the smart city solutions, the different measures to prevent overconsumption and pollution. In the cases of Moldova and of Turkey, actually the interviewees especially mentioned the need to educate the tourists as well. So the perspective not only of the businesses but also of visitors, because people mentioned that part of the sustainability problem might also come to from our visitors who are not enough aware of the effects of their behavior on the environment where they actually take their vacations. And some general conclusions for this research about sustainability. Of course, that problems are integrated and solutions are integrated. This is nothing new. The local communities and local authorities are actually quite important in the process, especially for setting up at the most efficient level. We have a lot of ad hoc approaches and solutions, but the problem is the fragmentation. So we need maybe to find a way to join forces at different levels in order to have more pronounced results. In other countries, smart technologies are seen maybe the most efficient and immediate solution to cope with seasonality. The awareness or the focus on the modular services, combination of services, circular use of resources is not that it's not as efficient, but it's not taken out as a leading answer, especially in the coming from the analysis. And the ethical consumption of resources is actually taken out in Turkey. As I mentioned, the urge for educating visitors and citizens was also an important issue. So this is, the general view, but yes, we are open to comments and updates, especially on this topic. So thank you for at this point for the attention and for the patience.
According to today's session. Just a second, please. Please scan this QR, everybody, please. I will check.
nume prin sesii anuale